No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
It's time for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News.
There it is, Boise State. Nice couple of dunks there, Abe Jackson.
Yeah.
They got it going. You had the alley-oop from Cardenas to Stanley. R.J. Keene got involved with the dunk, and we're live here on the Jacksons Postgame Show. And I know a lot at the beginning, first half, a little not to love, but they really turned it on there in the second half, Abe.
They did. I mean, they started taking the ball inside. They shot 19 threes in the first half, only 13 in the second half, and just really dominated in the paint. In that second half, shot over 51% in the second half, and you end up winning the game 82-51. I'll take that every day.
That first half, you're coming off the huge win against St. Mary's, and we didn't really talk about it on the post-game show, but you got conference play starting Saturday. I mean, maybe there was a small chance for, I don't know, letdown or lack of focus, or what would you say?
Well, you see, when you play teams like this, you see it in some exhibition games sometimes too, or early on non-conference against teams, Division I or Division II. And this was a team that you were favored by over 20, that you don't blow them out in the first half. I mean, there's a lot of times you go in up 8 or 12 points, and then all of a sudden in the second half is what happened in this game. And so, of course, there were some things that were not going well in the first half. They were shooting way too many threes, kind of falling into the traps that Texas Southern was putting for them. But then, of course, like any good team, you go in, you make some adjustments at halftime, and then you end up blowing them out rebound them by 30 in the game, 56-26. So overall, great game. Head into conference with a nice win.
Yeah, 16 offensive rebounds in this game for Boise State, and Texas Southern only had 21 defensive rebounds. So that's not the way it's supposed to work, where you almost get as many of your misses as
right.
as they do. But that's becoming a weapon, Leon Rice said, the rebound.
It is. It really is. If you can go out there and not dominate 30 plus 30 every single time, but if you can go out there and beat a team on the boards, there's not a elite rebounding team in the country that's not also a good basketball team. I mean, they just go hand in hand, and the Broncos are becoming an elite rebounding team. And so when you can do that, you can weather a storm of maybe shooting a 29% or a 32% in one of the halves, because you're going to get those offensive rebounds, and you're just going to get bulk shots because of your rebounding. So, rebounding has been a key for Coach Rice since he stepped foot at Boise State, and it's going to continue to be.
Well, I hope Texas Southern got a picture of the scoreboard. I think they were up 5-4 at one point. They did have a 2-point lead at some point, a minute and 23 seconds into the game. But Boise State took the lead and took control and led for 36 minutes and 29 seconds in this game. Just not, the crowd first half just wasn't a ton to cheer about. It wasn't great. And then lo and behold, halftime, the football team comes out and gets the crowd on their feet standing. And then sure enough, the second half, I'm sure there was a nice quiet talking to in the locker room, by the coaching staff, and they got off to that quick spurt right away. A couple of quick buckets there to start the second half, and all of a sudden you're up 16, and they need a timeout, and off they went.
Well, they started going inside. I mean, the first couple buckets were just pound the ball inside, and then after you do that, that's when the threes start to really open up. When you get the ball in the paint, those inside-outside threes are some of the easiest to shoot for a shooter, because the ball's coming directly at you. It's not getting swung around the key and maybe is behind you. It's right in your shooting pocket. So they went inside immediately to Stanley to start that second half. And then once you established inside, everything else kind of opened up.
Yeah, and we showed the two dunks to start off the broadcast here.
Who got higher off the ground? Stanley or Keene?
That's a good question. Hey, man, RJ Keene, we talked about him. We talked about him on the pregame show, and you look at his stat line. I mean, it might have been the most impactful 4-point game that someone's had in a long time. I mean,
he had the most impactful 0-point game against St. Mary's.
Second game in a row, though, he was, I guess maybe he was close. Okay, I'm looking at Cardenas' line, but he was plus 25 tonight, so another solid game. Plus 30 was the highest, but 10 rebounds, 4 assists.
Well, he talked to us to Bob,
RJ Keene, that is.
Bob and I on our post game, and he just said he loves rebounding. He said, when I said, coaches ask players to do something different every year. I said, when did you know that this was going to be your role this year? And he said, when I stepped foot on campus in June. He said, I started playing with these guys and thought, how am I going to stand out? We got some really good players who could score the ball, and standing out is playing defense, bringing energy, getting those rebounds, keeping balls alive. And he said he loves starting too, to get an offensive rebound, to get some second chance points right off the bat, and to get the team rolling. So if there's anyone who's embraced a role that's asked of them on this team the most, it's probably RJ Keene.
Yeah, I was super impressed with Keene, and Alvaro Cardenas as well. He's going to be a story next Saturday, obviously going back to San Jose, and we'll talk about that more going forward. But 11 points, 7 assists for him, 2 steals. He was 5 of 8 from the field, had 5 rebounds as well, 11, 7, and 5, and was a team high plus 30 tonight. Cardenas continues to show that impact and make more of an impact by the game.
Yeah, he does. I mean, there's some passes that he makes. You can just tell that he is just a true point guard. In the first half, is kind of shaky as the first half was. There were a couple threes that the guys knocked down from passes from Cardenas where he got into the paint, and it was a little ball fake to the big guy that was cutting to the hoop. It drew all the defenders, and then he kicks it out for a 3-pointer. One was to Meadow in the corner. And so he
had one to Anderson where he looked at Buchanan and then threw it to him, and it was for a dunk, I believe, or a layup. And we had the perfect angle in our seats over there, and it was like just the vision and the ability for the no-look passes, man. It's impressive.
That was after his 2 passes that went out to the 3-point line. And so that just shows that he's adjusting with the game, that he knows that defenders are going to go out to that 3 now. So my roller, my big guy going to the hoop's going to be open. It's what the Broncos needed from a point guard. He's doing. I can't say that I thought he was going to give us these lines, because some of his stat lines are really, really impressive for a point guard. But everyone thought he was going to be a great addition to the team, and he is.
20 assists as a team on 26 field goals.
Boise State's averaging, I think, 16 assists, something like that.
They had one where, literally went like around the horn drill. They passed it all the way. I was almost too many passes.
Yeah.
But the ball movement, especially in the second half, I thought was tremendous.
Yeah. And when the Broncos move the ball, that's when they're the toughest. And it doesn't always have to go around that 3-point line. Move the ball in, move the ball out, penetration with the ball, not having it just stop and stand somewhere. The ball movement makes this Bronco team dangerous.
Overall, Texas Southern, it's a bye game. They're just taking their check. It's a lot, as Leon said in the post game, got to be tough for them. A lot of these bye games, a lot of travel, stayed out on the road. They scored actually in the second half. They scored a couple of baskets later. Boise State was up 36 at one point. You thought, they might push this to 40 or 45,
Yeah.
which would have certainly been nice for the numbers. But you win by 31. You move on to conference play. I mean, anything else from this game stand out to you? I mean, 3 guys with double-digit rebounds. Omar Stanley, 11 and 10. I mean, we talked about Texas Southern. They're just not very good. But for Boise State, it was about, getting right, doing your things, and I thought another nice game for Omar Stanley.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the double-double, and it's rare that you have 2 players in college basketball that give you a double-double in the same game. And, Omar Stanley is also embracing his new role where they're not asking him to score a bunch of points, but they, get out there and give us, 8 to 11 maybe, and give us 8 to 10 boards. And he talked about that before too, and he's loving that role.
It's got to go better than 1 for 6 from the foul line, though.
He'll go better. He'll go better. He'll go better.
Degenhardt, though, 12 of 12 from the foul line. He's becoming a big weapon there with how often he gets fouled.
Yeah, he was only 2 short of the Boise State record, 14 for 14. Jerry Washington in 1998 against Idaho went 14 for 14, but 12 for 12, pretty impressive too.
Andrew Meadow, 18 points tonight. Hit 4 threes. I mean, he continues to ascend with his play here.
Yeah, he does. And, he's a guy that'll shoot a lot of threes, and he shot 11 of them today and made 4. So, he's sitting around, I think, what is that, like 36% or so, something around there for the game. But he's the shooter on the team. Everyone else is, a guy who, if they're open, they can knock him down. But he's the guy that when people penetrate or you get it into the post, he's the guy that's having to adjust around that 3-point line that they're looking for to kick it out. So I think Meadow's I don't know. Jittery's not the right word, but I don't feel like he's been comfortable the last couple games, and I think he'll get there.
And he's not afraid to keep letting it fly, man.
You have to. I mean, if you're going to be the shooter on the team and you find yourself open from 3, I don't care if you're 0 for 10 or you're 10 for 10. You got to shoot that next one.
Speaking of the 3-point shot, though, we've talked about this on most of the post-game shows, unfortunately, but they came in, 251st, I think, in 3-point shooting. They were 3 of 17 at one point to start today. They finished 8 of 32, 25%. Chris Lockett came in and hit a couple there in the second half, but overall, the 3-point shooting is one of the, if you're just trying to find glaring weaknesses. I mean, is it when you're a third of the way into the season at this point, essentially? I mean, is that something that can be fixed, or is 3-point shooting just not really going to be a strength of this team?
I don't know if it'll be one of the strengths that you put right up there, but if you're missing a lot and you're rebounding well, you get some second chance points. But what the Broncos are also doing is that they're getting to the free throw line. And so if the 3 isn't going down as much as you'd like, they are still getting to the line. I think at one point we were shooting our 10th and 11th free throw before Texas Southern had even attempted 1 free throw. I might be off by a couple, but we were getting to the line a lot when those 3s weren't going down. And so that's why the lead was kind of stretching, even though it looked like the offense wasn't clicking that well. And so this team, I don't think, is going to be an elite 3-point shooting team. Are you going to have some nights where the team shoots 40 or 45%? Yeah, you'll have some of those nights. And if you get to the line as much as you usually do, you might score 100 in those games.
Yeah.
But the point is to score points. And if you're not doing it by the 3s, you're doing it on second chance opportunities, and you're doing it with free throws that the Broncos have shown to be some of the best in the country at rebounding and also team free throw percentage.
I asked you on this on the postgame show if they get a win. Well, they did. So 8-3. Non-conference, 2 quad 1 wins, which Leon pointed out is the most of any team in the Mountain West at this point. They're at the Ken Pom up to 53 after this win. So they're higher in the Ken Pom and the net ranking going into conference play than they were in each of the last 3 seasons. I know we wanted the Boston College one is one that we're going to be looking at all season, probably saying, like we said earlier, not just an ideal one. But it is what it is. Overall, though, 8-3, 2 quad 1 wins. Around number 50, top 55 net Ken Pom. I mean, do you feel not great, but I think you probably would say it's it's solid, I guess, non-con. You take it.
There's always something with basketball that you can point to throughout the season. There's always something. There's just too many games. It's not like football where you have 12 or 13 games and you can win all those games, and so you're like, hey, we're undefeated, or we have 1 loss, like the Bronco team. Basketball is just completely different, where if you wanted to, you could always go back every single season and say, oh yeah, but what about that game? Oh, hey, what about that game? It's just part of the sport. There's just so many games to do that. And so for this Bronco team to come back after a bad first half against Washington State, get the win against St. Mary's, then dominate, especially in the second half here. And then you're starting off with maybe 3 out of the 4 worst teams in the Mountain West. 2 will be on the road, but 1 will be at home against Air Force. I think the Broncos have a chance to start 3-0 and put together a nice little win streak here.
Yeah, they'd be 3-0. They'd be 11-3, and when potentially when a ranked San Diego State team comes in here on a 2:00 on a Saturday.
That'd be sweet.
I mean, that could
this place is going to be packed and loud.
Think about if they win the Fiesta Bowl a couple days before that, then you come in here. I mean, it's going to be. There's a chance here they could get on a nice little roll.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's set up for them. You still have to go in and get it done against Mountain West teams. They're completely different than Texas Southern, even in Air Force, whose record doesn't show very well, and they haven't won too many games so far, but they run a weird offense. They run a weird offense that can get you out of your game. And one thing I like, though, is that there's quite a few players on this Bronco team that has seen Air Force at least once.
Pre-Christmas, though, they did it once before. But when the Mountain West tournament had to be moved up a week for a conference or something, but pre-Christmas conference game, in terms of just kind of turning the page, nice non-con, but you put that away. And now you said it's a new season here. Obviously, like you said, a lot of these guys are familiar, some aren't, but new season, more familiar opponents now, but obviously this is where Boise State's going to have to make their hay here is in these next 20 games.
Yeah, and the games just have a little more pressure on them. You're thinking about conference, you're thinking about championships, and every game just means a little bit more when you get into the conference. But like I said, what I like is you got a lot of guys who have seen Air Force before. Degenhart, Stanley, Keene. You can throw Cardenas in there, being from San Jose Meadow. So there's a lot of guys that have seen this type of offense, and I think this is a really smart team too. I think this is a team that can adjust on the fly, that can adjust at halftimes, and can take a game plan and implement it really well, and that's what you need against Air Force.
Hey, we appreciate your time as always, man. Looking forward to conference play and keeping this rolling. And 1:30 game time, not ideal with the SMU Penn State game, and also just college football playoff on all day. I don't really love the 1:30 start time, but it is what it is, I guess.
All right.
So I guess what I'm saying is 12:30.
Okay.
I'll talk to you at 12:30
all
for
right.
the pregame
I'll be
show,
here.
but it'll be middle of the third quarter as we're trying to find out who Boise State's going to play, SMU or Penn State. But we'll keep folks up to date on that, and obviously get ready for the start of Mountain West play on Saturday.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Abe Jackson, appreciate him for coming on. I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors here at Bronco Nation News. Our studio sponsor, Western Collective, the Horseshoe Golden Ale. Make sure you pick that up next time you're here inside, almost at Albertson Stadium again, inside ExtraMile Arena. They got the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer, and you can pick those up here at ExtraMile Arena. And hope you'll join them at the brewery in Garden City for the Fiesta Bowl. They'll have a lot of cool things going on where you can help out a good cause with some of the proceeds going to benefit the Horseshoe Collective. The watch party for the Fiesta Bowl is at the brewery in Garden City. Our title sponsor is roepaint.com, roepaint.com. Check them out, roepaint.com. And they're the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. They got a lot of great things going on. Check them out, roepaint.com, best in the business, roepaint.com. Those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, all that good stuff. Check them out at roepaint.com. ICCU, Idaho Central Credit Union, check them out as well. They do great things and great banking, and just so the best part about it is just the mobile eBranch online banking and how easy it is to use. So highly recommend you checking out Idaho Central Credit Union online. Again, their website is ICCU.com. Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. We're going to pick our Matt Bauscher player of the game here in a little bit, and a little tough one tonight. You have some good competition for that tonight, but Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor for a reason. Check them out online at bauscherrealestate.com. And when you buy a home or sell a home from Matt, you get to meet everybody in that picture there, because the customer service, the attention to detail is unmatched at Bauscher Real Estate. So we'll be picking our Bauscher Real Estate player of the game. If you got a candidate, let us know in the comments. Who would you pick for the player of the game? And we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. They got locations across the Treasure Valley, and we got a cool announcement that we're going to be making here shortly on BNN, probably on the morning show, maybe tomorrow or later this week. But shopridleys.com. Check them out. Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations in the state of Idaho, some of the surrounding states as well. So make sure you check them out. Our friends at Ridley's Family Markets. We are here on the Jacksons Postgame Show, new title sponsor of the Postgame Show. We appreciate Jacksons for supporting us and sponsoring us and stepping up their sponsorship for 2025 with the Postgame Shows for football and basketball. So this is the Jacksons Postgame Show. Make sure you check them out. 25 cents from every hot dog sold at Jacksons goes to support the Horseshoe Collective. And in January and February, when they score 70 points, you're going to get a hot dog and a soda for $2. So probably going to be doing that a lot here moving forward. Couple look at the number. We're going to hear from Tyson Degenhart and Andrew Meadow in a second, but look at the numbers. Andrew Meadow finishes with I'm going to start at the top here. Omar Stanley, 11 points, 10 rebounds for him. Tyson Degenhart, 19 points, 10 rebounds. He went 12 of 12 from the free throw line. Andrew Meadow, 18 points, 4 rebounds. Tonight he was 4 of 11 from three-point range. RJ Keene, the connector, 4 points, 4 assists, 10 rebounds, including 5 offensive rebounds for RJ Keene, going in there and slapping that ball out, just doing a tremendous job. RJ Keene once again. Alvaro Cardenas, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He was a plus 30, team high plus 30. Alvaro Cardenas, again, 11, 7, and 5. Another solid game from him. 4 points for Javen Buchanan. You had 6 points for Dylan Anderson, 4 points for Chris Lockett, and 7 points for Chris Lockett, 6 points for Dylan Anderson, 2 points for Emmanuel Ugbo. And Brendan Ramirez, the walk-on, the former team manager, gets a minute and 55 seconds of game action. Man, he had a 2-on-1 break with about 15 seconds left, and for some reason tried to throw up a pass when he had a chance at a shot there. So, but he got 2 minutes of action, so cool to see. But as a team, 22 of 30 from the foul line, but just 8 of 32 from three-point range. So they go 25% from three-point range. As a team, they're 26 of 60. And the big stat we talked about, 56 to 26, a 30 edge on the glass. Boise State out rebounds Texas Southern 56 to 26. And Texas Southern only had 21 defensive rebounds. Boise State had 16 offensive rebounds. So Boise State dominated the glass, dominated the paint, dominated this game. And afterwards, Andrew Meadow, Tyson Degenhart met with the media.
You guys won it, but came out and dominated in the second half. What was kind of the difference?
We just had a lot better possessions on offense. I think we settled a lot in the first half. We got the ball moving a little bit, and then we'd settle. We didn't really attack the paint as much as we'd like to. In the second half, we got that ball popping, and we had a way better second half. So I think that was a big factor.
Especially your first half for you, Tyson. I didn't think you had a point until 10 minutes deep, and you rattled off 9 straight. Something just clicked for you there. I guess what was it for you specifically?
I just found some open shots and took them. I did a good job getting to the foul line, so I can attribute that as well. And seeing that first free throw goes in always helps and gets the confidence up. So I'd say that.
I mean, just got being said with free throws, perfect 12 for 12. Were you just feeling it tonight? I guess what was it?
We actually shot free throws in practice or after practice yesterday, and it felt good. I'm starting to get better from the line, and to go 12 for 12, that's pretty good. So we got to keep that up.
You got non-con wrapped up. How far has this team come since the beginning of the season?
I think we've came a long way. We had a few losses early that, we wish we could have back, but we had to move on from that and just learn from it and get better, and I'm proud of our group for responding the right way, especially after a win and responding without just playing down to the level of competition.
You guys pride yourself as being a good rebounding team, just 56 to 26. Just what was working well for you guys on the glass tonight?
I think offensively we just were pursuing the ball. Like Keene, he had an amazing rebounding game. I feel like every single shot we missed, he at least got a hand on it and really helped impact in that way.
Tyson, metrics-wise, you guys are going into conference play better than any of the last 3 years when you made the tournament, obviously, every year. I know the Boston College loss sucks, whatever, but overall, 8-3, 2 quad 1 wins, top 50 net, Ken Pond. How do you feel overall about the non-con season?
I think we had a good non-con. Obviously, we would have loved to go 11-0 and win every game, but I think we learned a lot from those losses, and I think we're a better team because of it, and we've come a long way in the non-con, and I think we have so much better to get. I don't think this team has even come close to its peak, and so we're just going to keep striving for that every single day.
The three-point shooting, I know it's been a little bit of a struggle numbers-wise all year. Is that just kind of what you guys are at this point, or is there more you guys think from three that you guys can still get better at?
I know myself. I'm so confident in my shot. I'm not going to stop shooting. I know I'm one of the best shooters in the country. So, the numbers are all going to correct themselves. It's so early right now that I'm not looking into the numbers like that.
How excited are you guys to start conference play and just kind of turn the page to a new season here?
It's exciting. We were talking about in the locker room, us seniors only have 10 more home games, and Coach always talks about cherishing the moment and realizing that we only have 10 games left for this team in front of these fans. It's gone by really quick. So excited to have our first one on Saturday and hopefully a great crowd.
And we appreciate Andrew Meadow and Tyson Degenhardt for meeting with the media after the game. Again, the final score 82-51. Boise State takes down Texas Southern. The Broncos 8-3 in non-conference play, 2 quad 1 wins, the most in the Mountain West. Embrace the grind, guys. Get new season, 20 games. Starts up on Saturday. Kind of a odd start with the pre-Christmas game, but that's what it's going to be. We're going to hear from Leon Rice and get his post-game comments in just a minute, but want to thank a few more of our great sponsors that make this show free of charge for you to watch here on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team, whether it's a pool, whether it's a sauna, whether it's a spa, whether it's a pool table for the game room. Check them out online at thespateam.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, our pregame show sponsor. Check them out as well. The all-wheel drive sale, the four-wheel drive vehicles are perfect right now with the weather getting snowy and icy here in Boise. Make sure you're equipped for the Idaho winter with a vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise. And the big thing about them is they support Boise State, one of the biggest sponsors of Boise State. 4 football players, 6 student athletes on NIL deals, driving vehicles from Lithia Ford, a lot of the coaches, staff. So when you're looking to support a sponsor that supports the Broncos and supports Bronco Nation News, make sure your next car or truck purchase is at Lithia Ford of Boise. I saw Stan Nicolason at the game tonight, Steven Nicolason as well. TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out for information on applying for a job to work at Taco Bell. You can also get information on the hundreds of thousands of dollars they've committed to student athlete scholarships for the men's and women's basketball team at Boise State as well at TacoBellWorks.com. But the SON Management Group, Nicolason family, appreciate them for their support of BNN. And again, the food is pretty darn good as well. So check them out for a cheap meal for you or the family at a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location. Speaking of jobs, what about the trucking industry? Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. Check them out online at transcomservice.com, 866-813-7620, whether it's DOT, overweight, any permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out, Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. Do you have that Fiesta Bowl gear? Hopefully you do, but if not, head to the Blue and Orange Store. The blueandorangestore.com is where you can go. They got the Please Count Us Out shirt. It's kind of the unofficial shirt for the Fiesta Bowl, that orange one right there. They're asking fans to wear orange. Please count us out. All the other Fiesta Bowl, Mountain West Championship gear, you can get that at the Blue and Orange Store. They've got them in stock at the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or you can also order online anywhere in the world and get your gear shipped to you at the blueandorangestore.com. They got some great hats, some great pullovers, all kinds of great Mountain West Championship and Fiesta Bowl CFP gear. Got some for Christmas for some family members, and it's a pretty awesome selection there online and in store at the Blue and Orange Store. So we appreciate Travis Hawks and company for their support of Bronco Nation News. And when you need that Fiesta Bowl gear, I know you got a lot of options, so make sure you check out our friends over at the Blue and Orange Store. Again, this is the Jacksons Postgame Show. Jacksons, where 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to support the Horseshoe Collective at Boise State. Next time you're looking for a snack or a soda or some gas, make sure you visit a Treasure Valley Jacksons location. 82-51, the final. We'll get to some of your comments. We'll get to our Matt Bauscher player of the game. A lot of candidates tonight. Let us know who you would go with. Tyson Degenhardt, 19 and 10. Andrew Meadow had 18 points. You had Omar Stanley, 11 points, 10 rebounds. You had Alvaro Cardenas, 11 points, 7 rebounds, or 7 assists, 5 rebounds. You had RJ Keene with 4 points, but 10 rebounds and 4 assists. So who is your Bauscher Real Estate player of the game? Let us know. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first, let's hear from the victorious head coach, Leon Rice, after the win.
First half, obviously, they hung around for a while, but second half to win by 30 and look at better ball movement.
Yeah.
What did you see?
Some great adjustments by our guys mentally for the second half. Now, you look at their games. I mean, I think they were ahead of Xavier at halftime. They were down 8. The games have just been a little too long for them mostly. And when you have to play that many guarantee games and that much on the road, it wears on you. And he's got a good team, and they're getting better. And, they're picked second in the league, and, they could go win it. That's a team that you always see, like, pop up in the NCAA tournament, and they're playing, more confident and loose. But I was really proud of our guys. We beat them by 30 on the glass. And that team's been scoring a lot of points, so I was more concerned about our defense tonight, because that team – they played 2 Mountain West teams and averaged 70 points, and so we wanted to be able to we knew their offense could be explosive, and we had respect for it, and to hold them to 51, and I think they got a lot there in the last 4 or 5 minutes. So I thought we had a great defensive effort, great effort on the glass, and then we did some good offensive things, especially the second half. First half, we settled and took the bait, and but great adjustment by our guys, and we played with a sense of urgency, and that's what you have to play every second you get to play here at Extra Mile and in the Bronco uniform. So that's important.
You mentioned the rebound margin, 3 guys with 10 boards. You out-rebounded one of the best rebounding teams in the country 3 nights ago. Just kind of, how well are you guys rebounding right now?
It's becoming a weapon for us, and and we can still get better at it. We got some other guys that can be great rebounders that aren't there yet, and we're always a work in progress, and our standards really, really high. And when we get all these guys playing that way, holy cow. But a lot of winning plays tonight, especially in the second half, and really proud of RJ Keene with the way, 10 rebounds, 5 offensive, 4 assists, the glue guy, and really proud of Chris Lockett because, these freshmen, it's not easy. And, figuring out the rotation, and sometimes he's a little bit odd man out. And I've been on him about taking care of the ball, and tonight he comes out and they're a hard team to take care of the ball against because you got to be courageous to punch it, but they're going to come and slap at it. And he had 4 assists, no turnovers, and a big one on an offensive rebound, kick out to Meadow at the end of the first half that got us up 9. So great job by him being, he's getting better, and we need him to get better, and that's progress. So.
With an emphasis for you going into that second half, just with the ball security. I mean, you had 9 turnovers in that first half.
Yeah.
I think you had 6 in the second half, but 3 of them were in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, but we were just standing around stiff, straight-legged, and throw me the ball and I'll shoot a 3. Well, we'd throw you the ball, and you got them in closeouts, and now we got something. And so you saw the adjustment in the second half of how they played, and so I thought that was a really good second half.
Tyson said you guys have been practicing free throw shooting. 12 for 12. Have you ever seen him shoot that well from the line?
Oh yeah, that thing is butter. His numbers have not caught up with how great a shooter he is, and they're going to.
Just with the non-conference schedule over, how much has this team grown since the beginning of the season?
Yeah, a ton. I mean, we had that big win Saturday, and then it's tough. You got to respond to losing, you got to respond to winning, you got to respond to everything that's thrown at you. And sometimes it can be just as hard coming off a St. Mary's game and having to respond and play a game, with 1 day to prep. And because we put it all out there for that game Saturday. And, so I was really proud of our guys, the way they approached this today. And it was a good, mature approach. And if you weren't ready to play, that team, like I said, that we've seen Texas Southern come in and knock people off here and there, and when they're taken lightly, and so we had the proper amount of respect for them in the game.
I know you would have liked to have had the Boston College game, but to be 8-3, 2 quad 1 wins, and I think metrics-wise at net and KenPom, you're going into conference play in a better spot than the last 3 years. I know it wasn't perfect, but overall, are you okay with? How do you feel overall when you just think about what you guys accomplished in terms of the resume and stuff?
Well, we always look back at film, not to say, well, I wish we would have done that better. You have to approach it that way, where, okay, we're looking back on that, and this is what we're going to get better at. You can never look back on it going, I wish we would have done that then, and then we would have. You can't do that as a player, as a coach, anything. We did some great things. We've got more quad 1 wins than any team in our league, and that's what's important. That's what you hang your hat on, and that's what is a resume builder. And I think our numbers are getting better and better. We've gotten better at so many things, and if you can do what we did Saturday after a tough one, maybe our worst half of basketball of the season, the way we responded and everything, then you got a chance to be a pretty darn good team.
3-point shooting kind of struggle all night. Was it just the shots weren't falling, or would you want to see better shots?
No, I think we got in a little bit of a groove second half. I think we shot a little bit better percentage, missed some down the stretch that I thought we could have made. But that's a thing that'll, we're so good from inside to out that we're, one of the better teams inside the paint and putting foul pressure on you that way. But like I said, we are a really good shooting team that the numbers haven't caught up with it yet. So they will.
And I know you like it when you get the assist, 20 on 26 for field goal tonight.
Right, and it seemed like we should have had about 10 more if we make shots. So, hey, we're saving up those made shots for when we need them most, if you're allowed to do that.
There he is, Leon Rice, speaking with the media post-game. We appreciate him for joining us after the game. Again, Leon Rice, always cordial, good, nice with his time, especially after a 31-point win, though. 82-51, Boise State takes down Texas Southern. Again, we will get to our Matt Bauscher player of the game in just a minute. Again, get your thoughts in. Who do you have? Well, there's 5 or 6 options tonight. So who do you have for the Matt Bauscher player of the game? Let us know. We will get to that. And again, Jackson's sponsoring our post-game show here in January and February. It's coming. When they score 70 points, you get a hot dog and a soda for $2 2 days later at Jackson's. Jackson's, $2 2 days later, a hot dog and a soda in January and February. And they're still doing the football promotion, so hopefully come the Fiesta Bowl, you can get that Ahmed Hassanin coffee. They can get a fountain drink or a coffee for 91 cents. If Ahmed Hassanin can get a sack, or if Breezy Dubar can get a touchdown, you can get a hot dog and a soda for $1 coming up after the Fiesta Bowl. So hopefully both those can still happen. That would certainly be nice to see. And again, Jackson's, where 25 cents sold from every hot dog goes to support the Horseshoe Collective, and they're making a donation of $100,000 for hot dog revenue in 2024. So you may not think it adds up, but every hot dog sold 25 cents, and they're making a donation of almost $100,000 to the collective at Boise State, thanks to your purchase of hot dogs. Speaking of food, how about Lean Feast? LeanFeastMeridian.com, 10,000 combinations, LeanFeastMeridian.com. Check them out, 10,000 combinations at Lean Feast, whether it's steak, chicken, fish, shrimp, you name it. Lean Feast Meridian has you covered, LeanFeastMeridian.com. And it's you can get it delivered anywhere in the Treasure Valley, so no excuse to not eat healthy. And it's good for 5 days in your refrigerator. You pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes at work, and you're eating surf and turf and making everybody else jealous there at the office. So check them out online. They're feeding the football team and the basketball team at LeanFeastMeridian.com. We'll take your post-game voicemails if you have them. Speakpipe.com/BNN. You can leave them tomorrow if you had a question for Brad Bedell, football-wise, basketball-wise, whatever you got. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Speakpipe.com/BNN is the website, and you just go on there, and it's very easy, and you leave us a voicemail, and we'll get to it when we can. And that's brought to you by Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 20 years. MySignatureRoofing.com is the website, MySignatureRoofing.com. Check them out for all of your re-roof needs, whether it's a repair, whether it's a inspection, whether you want to have a free estimate done. They got you covered. Get more information online. A locally owned company doing great things in the community. And they just send me a Venmo just to tell me to go get a nice dinner in New York while I was up there. They're just really good people. Appreciate them. Signature Roofing. Check them out online at mysignatureroofing.com. All right, we are back on the Jacksons post-game show here. We're taking your comments. Let's see what else we got here. We got, I saw somebody say Cardenas for player of the game. Deggy. Creamy Cold Boise wants Deggy. Tyler K is saying RJ Keene. So we got a lot of different options here for the player of the game. Cardenas played great tonight. Wasn't trying to make up for the bad shooting, really just kept feeding the ball. And again, your candidates, Omar Stanley, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Tyson Degenhart, 19 points, 10 rebounds. Andrew Meadow, 18 points. Alvaro Cardenas, 11 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. And RJ Keene had 10 rebounds, 4 points, 4 assists. Man, this is super tough. I got to go Tyson Degenhart because he had 19 points and he also had 10 rebounds. So a lot of these guys had the points or the rebounds. He had both. 19 points, 10 rebounds. We'll probably be picking him a lot this year, but I'm going Tyson Degenhart for our Matt Bauscher player of the game, Bauscher Real Estate player of the game. Again, BauscherRealEstate.com. Check them out. All your real estate needs, whether it's the, you're buying a home, selling a home, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how big or small the home is. Matt and his team are ready to take care of you, all your real estate needs. Check them out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. And again, the Matt Bauscher player of the game. Congrats to Tyson Degenhart on his 19 points and 10 rebounds. That'll wrap it up for the Jacksons postgame show. Got a full story to go back and write, so you can read my thoughts on this game coming up. Nathan Carroll is also updating his article, looking at the NCAA tournament and the metrics and things and what it says about Boise State moving forward into conference play. So a lot of coverage getting set for Saturday when the Broncos start conference play against Air Force. That will be on Saturday. Conference play gets going again at Air Force, but 8-3 non-con. 2 quad 1 wins, overall solid non-conference season. The one loss you would love to have back, obviously, is Boston College, but no team is perfect, and obviously a lot of opportunities in conference play to continue to build that resume, and a good chance they can go 3-0 here if they can get some wins over Air Force, Wyoming, and Fresno. No, who is it? Not Fresno. It's Air Force, Wyoming, and San Jose State for the first 3 games, and then you could have a sellout electric crowd here in ExtraMile Arena when San Diego State comes to town on Saturday, January 4th. So this team, I believe, is trending in the right direction. I know it wasn't perfect in the first half. It hasn't been pretty at times this season, but a 31-point win, nothing to cry about. End up being a solid game, and the Broncos now 8-3 as they move into conference play. So thanks to Jacksons. Again, 25 cents. Every hot dog sold goes to support the Horseshoe Collective at Jacksons. The next time you're looking for somewhere to grab a bite to eat or a drink or a snack, make sure you check out Jacksons. And, of course, our Western Collective studio sponsor. Thanks to them. Again, join them for the Fiesta Bowl. They're in Garden City at the brewery. They're going to have some great food and drink specials, and they also donate money to the Collective with their purchase of their beverages, which you can also get at most major retailers in the area and grocery stores as well. And, of course, our title sponsor, Andy Rowe, rowpaint.com. Appreciate him as always. Andy Rowe, rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out. All your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, all those great things, and all the painting. They can do commercial, industrial, all that good stuff. So roepaint.com is their website, our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Thanks to Jaden Finch for getting us the highlights. Those are up on YouTube. We have some other highlights up online as well. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. Again, 82-51 is the final. Boise State takes down Texas Southern. They'll start conference play on Saturday against Air Force. 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll see you with Brad Bedell to talk some football. Have a good rest of your evening. And again, when you wake up, you can read my story. Subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. 9 a.m. here on YouTube, Facebook, and X. I'll be back with Brad Bedell. We'll talk to you then. Have a good night, everybody. Again, the final score, Boise State taking down Texas Southern 82-51. Thanks to Jaden Finch. My name is BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News for the Jacksons Postgame Show, BroncoNationNews.com.